Have you ever wondered who created the brand that makes the cars you see on every street, in every city, across the world? You hear the name Toyota and think of reliability, power, and innovation. But behind this global giant was a young boy, with a quiet dream, a dream born not in shiny factories or boardrooms but in a small wooden weaving shed in rural Japan. This is the untold story of Kiichiro Toyoda, the boy who turned steel into hope and built an empire that drives the world today. Long before cars roamed Japan's narrow streets, Kiichiro was just a curious boy. Born in 1894, he lived in a humble village where people worked hard to survive, and dreams were often silenced by reality. His father, Kiichiro Toyoda, was known as Japan's king of inventors, but not for cars. He invented automatic weaving looms to help poor textile workers work faster and better. As Kiichiro grew up watching his father design machines out of wood and metal, a quiet fire burned inside him. He wanted to create something even bigger. Unlike other boys who played with toys and ran in fields, Kiichiro spent his childhood dismantling broken machines, studying their gears, belts, and cogs. He would return home covered in oil stains, eyes glowing with ideas. His father often smiled and said, "One day, you will build something that will change this world, my son." Kiichiro studied mechanical engineering at the University of Tokyo, graduating with dreams too big for his small country. In the early 1920s, Japan was far behind the West in technology. In 1921, Kiichiro traveled to Europe and America to study textile machinery for his father's company, Toyota Automatic Loom Works. But what truly captured his heart were the cars speeding down American highways. As he stood watching Fords and Chevrolets roaring past, he thought, why can't Japan build its own cars? On his voyage back to Japan, as the ship cut through endless ocean waves, he made a silent promise to himself. One day, I will build a car that drives my country forward. Back home, he shared his vision with his father, who was proud but worried. Cars needed money, research, and a market that didn't exist in Japan yet. But Sakichi believed in his son's courage. Before he passed away, he told Kiichiro, "Follow your dream, even if people call you mad." After Sakichi's death, Kiichiro took over the family loom business. But instead of expanding looms, he quietly invested in building car engines. His board members and senior engineers mocked him. Investors threatened to pull out. "We are loom makers, not car makers," they argued. But Kiichiro stayed silent. He knew visionaries always walk alone in the beginning. In 1934, after years of secret research, Kiichiro built his first engine, the Type A engine. It was noisy, shaky, and far from perfect. People laughed at his failure, but he ignored them. By 1936, he had built Japan's first passenger car prototype, the Model AA. It wasn't the fastest or the most stylish, but it was strong, affordable, and purely Japanese, the beginning of a silent revolution. He renamed the company from Toyota to Toyota. Why? Because it sounded crisper in Japanese, and writing Toyota required 8 strokes, a number considered lucky in Japanese culture. Orders slowly began to flow. In dusty towns and growing cities, people whispered, "Who is this man building cars like Americans?" Kiichiro's dream was finally rolling on wheels. Then came World War II. Toyota was forced to produce trucks for the Japanese military. After the war, Japan was left broken, industries destroyed, and the economy collapsed. Kiichiro watched helplessly. As his company ran out of funds, he wept silently when he had to lay off thousands of workers he once called family. In 1950, to save Toyota from bankruptcy and to reduce company expenses, he resigned as president. Broken by guilt and stress, he fell ill. Just 2 years later, in 1952, Kiichiro Toyoda died at only 57 years old, never seeing the true heights of his dreams. But legends never die with their bodies, they live on through their visions. After his death, Toyota used his philosophies to create stronger, cheaper, and better cars. They built the Corolla, which became the world's best-selling car. They created the Land Cruiser, ruling deserts and mountains. They unleashed the Supra, thrilling racers globally. And later, they led the hybrid revolution with the Prius, changing how the world drives forever. Today, when you see a Toyota on the road, remember, it's not just a car. It carries within it the dreams of a boy from a small weaving village, the courage of an engineer who defied an entire nation's limitations, and the sacrifice of a man who gave up everything to build something for his country. Kiichiro Toyoda never drove in luxury, never sat in a private jet, but his name today drives the roads of every continent on Earth. His story teaches us that success is not about what you inherit, but what you create with your own hands. That your beginnings do not decide your destiny, your courage does. Because Kiichiro Toyoda was not born a king, yet today, his name rules the roads of the world. So the next time you see the Toyota badge shining on a Corolla, Land Cruiser, or Supra, remember this: behind that silver emblem lies a story of tears, hope, vision, and a silent promise to humanity. No matter how hard your journey is, keep moving forward.